Hey Crestwood, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you guys are doing well on this snowy, oh gosh, snowy January day. Hope you guys are staying safe. We actually had power was out here at church for a little bit, but we are back on and ready to go. Hope you guys are doing well, staying warm today. I'm so excited to be with you and bring you this devotional for this Wednesday, January 10th. 10 days already into this new year. Crazy. So today I'm thinking a little bit about what I preached about on Sunday, which is dead ends. And also piggybacking on what I talked about last week in my devotional about resolutions. You know, we always say, new year, new you, let's start new things off. And oftentimes what I find when I try to do that is it's not new. It's just a continuation of who I was, but trying to improve a little bit here and there. And I want to pair that with an experience I had yesterday. So the SRO group, seniors, retirees, and others, went down to Danville to their art museum. They have a new kind of art museum that's focused on the glass of a guy named Stephen Powell. Stephen was a center graduate and artist who specialized in glass blowing. And some of his works are absolutely incredible. I really want to encourage you to go online, look for him, look at those, go down to Danville and see them in person. They are beautiful and nothing that I would ever have thought of when it comes to glass sculptures or glass blowing or those sorts of things. It's just really incredible. Some of them are for purchase. There's a nice one there that's I'd love to have for my office if anyone's interested. It's only $40,000. So, just if you got some money laying around, it would look great on my bookshelf. So, but here's the part of his story I want to tell you. So when he was early into his glassmaking career, he had an accident. So apparently there was a bird inside his house and he was going to open the window to let the bird out, and he pushed his hand and it went through the glass and it just ripped up his hand, tore a bunch of tendons, rendered his hand basically useless. And so in the rehab process, his doctor told him, you're going to have to give up glass blowing. You can't do it anymore because your hand is not going to be strong enough to hold the rod that you need to turn in the fire and all that he was doing with it. And so he's at a dead end, right? He has to give up what it is that he has dedicated his life to doing. But what Powell did was he devised a new way to do glass blowing that would allow him to accommodate this injury and accommodate the weakness he had in his hand. And it led to this whole new style of art, a whole new style of glass sculpture. And it's beautiful. It's incredible. And it's the kind of thing like I would never look at something made of glass and think, oh, I could do this with it and add these colors and add these shapes and those sorts of things. It was just unbelievable, but it was born out of an injury. It was born out of something happening to him that was negative, something happening to him that could have been a dead end, that he uses instead to say, okay, if that's going to happen, then I'm going to find a new way to do it. I often think of that when it comes to water and the way water flows. Water can hit a dead end, but it can sort of find a way around that. It can angle around a rock. Amy and I were out in Utah at the end of last year, and we went to Horseshoe Bend. And Horseshoe Bend, it's this big, giant horseshoe that this river has created because it met an obstacle. It went around that obstacle and it continued. And I think that's the way God works in our lives. There's so many stories in Scripture where people are at a dead end or people cause their own dead ends. I think of Abram when he goes to Egypt with Sarai and he tries to give her away as his sister because he doesn't want to get killed by Pharaoh. And God's got to be like, oy vey, are you kidding me? Come on, I've got you. But instead, God works around these situations to keep the blessing going. You see, in our lives, we're going to hit what we think are dead ends, right? We're going to hit places where there is no way around this. We are stuck. And God's like, I got this. The Lord is with you if you will only be still, as Moses tells the Israelites. And God finds a way around that obstacle to keep the blessing going. So I want you to consider that. I want you to consider how the negatives that happen in your life, how can you use those to God's glory? Where is God present with you in the midst of that challenge, working feverishly to create a new way around that dead end? We saw it with Stephen Powell yesterday, how this devastating injury, which could have ended his career, instead he finds a way around it and turns it into this beautiful art. God is working through your obstacles to bring about something beautiful. I want to encourage you to look for that, to lean into that, to ask God, where are you at work in this situation? What's something beautiful that can come out of this obstacle? God is with you. God is at work. God is going to make whatever that obstacle is you're facing something beautiful. It may not be what you want. It may not be what you expect, but God knows your heart and God knows how to work to bring about good. So I encourage you today, Crestwood, trust in that. Trust that God is at work for you. What a blessing. God bless you, Crestwood.